So Elsie and I have been here in Brazil now for just over 2.5 years. We came here in July, end of July 2021, and today is the 8th of February 2024. So 2.5 years plus, and today I'm going to tell you 50 odd reasons why I just love living in Brazil after taking an early retirement from our life in Maryland in the United States. So without further ado, let's talk about 52 reasons. Actually, I think I've got a list I made up right here. I started with 30 reasons but it quickly expanded to 52. So let's go. Number one, the friendly people of Bahia. I swear, I lived in the US for 35 years and the people here are very, very friendly, warm. There's an Afrocentric vibe here, so they're just amazing people. The weather, as you can see here, the weather is just amazing. It's the opposite seasons from the Northern Hemisphere, so when it's winter there, it's summer here and vice versa. The weather is great. The food is dynamic. You know, when you live by the coast, you get fresh fish and all that on a regular basis. The food here has an African influence, just delicious food. Number four, a culture that's Afro-inspired and it's celebrated. You know, unlike other countries, unlike the States, where there's really not any culture to speak of. Here you've got culture and tons of festivals and different kinds of music. You've got world-class beaches and surfing. I mean, Itacaré is very close to us. World-class surfing destination. You know, lots of competitions that take place, and you got all kinds of surfing schools and stuff like that. This is a place where diversity is celebrated. That's number six. Diversity here is celebrated, unlike other countries where, you know, it's frowned upon. You know, here it's not at all. This place is not overrun by the capitalistic culture. Not everybody here is in the pursuit for a big house made out of wood and cardboard on which you pay tons and tons of interest over 30 years. And not everybody here wants to buy the latest, greatest fancy car. People here, they live a simple life. They live well within their means. You couldn't tell a millionaire wearing flip-flops from a local. You know, that's just the vibe. Really laid back vibe, not vibe. That's my German coming out right there. The beaches here are free access. You don't have to pay to park your car. Oftentimes you see cars and motorcycles on the beach, and really there's nobody there to tell you not to do that. Free access beaches. Tropical life, because we're in the tropics here. It's a tropical life with no snow, no cold weather, no ice, icy roads. None of, you don't have to wear jackets. I mean, t-shirt weather all the time. Number 10, people here, they work to live. They don't live to work like what I saw in America for 35 years. People there are just working, 6 to even 7 days a week. Barely have enough time to spend with their families, their children. Everybody's on their cell phones all the time. Here people work to live. Lots of festivals, lots of holidays. So when people, not to mention, every afternoon for 2 hours they take a siesta. From 12 to 1:30, 12 to 2 o'clock, everything shuts down because people go home, have lunch with their families, take a nap, etc. That was number 10. Let's see, where's number 11? Let's look at number 11. Here we go. Number 11. Just much nicer people here than elsewhere. Just genuinely nice, happy people. Happiness and smiles are everywhere. That's number 12. Happiness and smiles are everywhere to be found. Healthy life with little to no obesity. I mean, as I look around Brazil, an obese person is rare. It's rare to find an obese person. People eat well, they're into exercise, and you know, they're not obese. Look beautiful. They're willing to help anybody. You ask somebody for help, they'll go out of their way to help you. I mean, there have been examples where people have, we've asked directions and they've told the assistant at the store, wait here, I'm going to drive these people and show them exactly where to go. And we've had to follow people in their car to exactly where we were going, and then they went back to their store. I mean, who does that? Who does that? So really friendly people willing to help anybody. Number 15, great music. I mean, the music here in Bahia, again, is African influenced. You know, a lot of samba, a lot of, you know, music that's Afrocentric. Amazing beats, amazing rhythms, great songs. Simple living, as I mentioned here. People love and celebrate the rustic lifestyle here. Yeah, they're not into these big fancy concrete buildings that people are so used to building in other countries. Here people appreciate and look up to the laid-back, rustic, cultural-looking casas or houses. As I mentioned before, lots of festivals and holidays. Not uncommon every month to have a couple of those, and then people get together, you know, in the process of the cities, in the plazas, and you can see how much, you know, fun they have in these kind of things, right? On Sundays, everything is closed, and on Saturdays after 12, everything is closed. So, unlike America, for example, not the case, and people just didn't have time to spend with families because of that mindset. Here, after Saturday, everything shuts down, and all day Sunday, everything is shut. Brazilians are beautiful people. They're a mix of many races. You've got Japanese, you've got the native Indians, you've got Africans, you've got Italians, you've got Poles, you've got many different other types of Europeans, you've got Indians like myself, all mixed up. So you have a very healthy mix of race and good-looking people. Good-looking people, I tell you. Okay, that was 19. Let's go back to 20 now. 20, people here are laid back. They're not uptight, they're not opinionated, they're not quick to judge anybody. They're just laid back, happy people. They're humble. Brazilians are humble people. They relax, and they've got a chilled vibe going for themselves. Humble. In Brazil, number 23, there's free healthcare for all citizens and legal residents. I mean, imagine that. Last year, I injured myself here, and I had to go to a local clinic, and they gave me 9 stitches. And when I asked how much I had to pay, oh, they said, no, nothing. You're a legal resident. It's all covered. 9 stitches, antibiotics, pills. They took care of me for free. I mean, imagine that elsewhere. Not going to happen so easily. 24. Big, diverse landscapes and even diverse weather. I mean, Brazil is a big country, almost as big as the US, maybe a tad bit smaller. Diverse landscapes, diverse weather. Southern Brazil gets cold. Northern Brazil gets very hot because it's close to the equator. So diverse weather and landscapes. 25. Everybody here pretty much plays the guitar and can sing. Imagine that. You go to a party or something, it's not uncommon for 1 or 2 people playing the guitar, somebody playing the bongos, other people singing. You're not going to find that anywhere else. Everyone dances at the drop of a hat. You know, Brazilians, they know how to move. They know how to dance. I mean, the rhythm is in their blood, especially here in Bahia, again, as I mentioned, because the African influence. I mean, when they move, men and women, it's like, wow, it's something to really marvel at. The waters here at the sea are turquoise, white sands, palm trees, and amazing, amazing views wherever you see. If you're into the beaches, this place is amazing. The culture here is very romantic. Brazilian people are very romantic. Tons and tons of beautiful songs that they sing or listen to. 29. Brazil ranks in the top 10 economies in the world. It's not a third world country by any chance. I mean, if you just Google Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro, you'll see Sao Paulo is the biggest city in Latin America. It's known as the concrete jungle. I mean, it's huge. It's got like 3 airports, just that one city. So Brazil is in the top 10 world economies. Brazilians are not quick to judge anybody. you know, as I mentioned before, they're very humble, laid-back people. They're not quick to judge somebody like, unfortunately, I've seen in other countries. They're not arrogant. They're very polite people everywhere, and very respectful. Very respectful. 33, traditional family values in the majority of the country. Here, imagine, families are man, woman, children, church. Traditional family values for the most part in the majority of Brazil. 34, Brazil has some of the best barbecue in the world. I mean, you go to Brazilian restaurants in the US, like Fogo de Chão, I mean, you're paying an arm and a leg. Tasty food, so I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Same thing here, much cheaper, and so delicious, so diverse. Buffets as far as your eye can see, have fish, sushi, all kinds of things, and then all you can eat meat of all types, where the waiters come to you and cut it up for you depending on what you want. 35, the entire country does not look the same. I mean, again, going back to my 35 years in the US, if you took a road trip, every exit pretty much has started to look the same. The same gas stations, the same 7-Elevens, the same you know, quick marts, the same malls, the same strip malls, the same plazas. It's as if the same architect has designed everything in the US, and that really sucks up there. I mean, nothing really changes much over there, not even the language. Here, not even the food up there. Here, when you travel, it's diverse. The landscape is diverse. Well, landscape up there too is diverse, but here, the food is diverse. The architecture is diverse. You don't have these cookie cutter architects building, you know, these concrete blocks everywhere, like a stamp, boom, boom, boom. You've got diversity in architecture and food and that kind of thing. What else? 36, fish recipes, best in the world. I mean, especially us now, we live here on the beach, and the best, freshest fish you can hope for, and healthy cooking, grilled, oftentimes with sauce and all kinds of veggies thrown on top. Molho de pimenta, which is spicy sauce. Delicious. Let's go to 37. Respectful culture of their seniors. So once you turn 60, I'm now 62, once you turn 60 and you show your age like I do, I don't color my hair, unlike a lot of people who like to look younger. I'm just happy the way I look. So when they realize that I'm over 60, I get showered with a ton of respect. Now, there's a line, it's called a priority line, whether you go to the grocery store, whether you go to the bank, etc. You get to go to the priority line. Airline check-in, same thing, because you're over 60. So that's the respect that Brazilians give to people over 60. And they're genuinely respectful about that, not just, you know, type of thing. Brazilians kiss 2 times every time they meet anybody. So anytime you meet a Brazilian, you kiss like an air kiss, not like a real, like an air kiss here and an air kiss there, like a here and here, right? Twice. Coming or going, it doesn't matter. Kiss 2 times, men and women, right? I'm not sure about the men. Definitely the women. I may be wrong. I'll have to double check on that. Maybe the men you just shake hands. Women you kiss that. Yeah. The men you maybe just give them a hug or something. I'll have to look up that one. So hold off on that. But women definitely kiss them twice. And women vice versa. When they meet you, that's what they do. When I reflect back on the people that I meet, that's exactly what they do. Okay. Number 39, fresh, free fruit everywhere, growing wild. I mean, imagine, wouldn't it be a novel idea if countries in North America, Canada, Europe started planting fruit trees where people who are poor can actually have access to free fruit? Here in Brazil, you've got tons and tons of fruit trees growing all over the place where you cannot die hungry here if you're poor. I mean, you got mangoes falling all over the place, you got pineapples all over the place, and the list goes on, right? Free to pluck and eat to your heart's content. Mangoes, coconuts, jackfruits, that kind of thing. Number 40. There's a word called gambiarra. It's an Italian word. Gambiarra is how it's written. The culture of gambiarra is to not just throw away something once it stops working and go buy something new. Brazilian people are very creative, so they utilize their brains and their creative talents to fix things, to find solutions for things versus going out and buying things. I mean, there are tons of examples of that. So if you were to Google, for example, gambiarra, Gambiarra, followed by what is gambiarra in Brazil, you'll get a ton of answers on examples that they do. Very creative people, and it's not that they don't have the money. They take pride in being able to think a solution, and it kind of looks cool too, whether it's a doorbell that somebody's made themselves, etc., etc. Number 41. You have kilo food restaurants all over Brazil. So you got amazing restaurants with buffets. You take a plate at the head of the buffet and you put whatever you want on your plate, and at the end of the buffet line you've got somebody sitting there with a weighing machine in front of them, and you put your plate on the weighing machine and they'll weigh it for you, and they'll give you a little digital card or a receipt with the amount that you have to pay plus whatever you decide to drink. So kilo food restaurants are all over Brazil, including sushi and all that. 42. Fast food is only in big cities, so it's quite rare. I'm starting to see the occasional Burger King, Pizza Hut, McDonald's prop up in medium cities as well, but small cities, forget about it. No fast food, and thank goodness for that. This is why Brazilians are not obese. They like to eat fresh, delicious, real food. That was number 42. Now let's look at 43. Where's 43? Here we go. 43. Cops do not outnumber citizens, so we don't feel like we live in a police state. This is one of the things that I remember quite vividly. I had frankly started to get a little concerned about the number of times I would see police cars hidden, waiting for people to drive by, or videos that I would see online about the way the police are treating people these days in America, you know, whether it be somebody black or whether it be somebody Hispanic. I mean, I don't need to tell you, there are many cases of people dying from police being out of control. Here in Brazil, you don't see cops nearly as much as you were seeing up there in the United States. So here you don't feel like you're living in a police state. Yes, there are cops. Yes, they monitor things, and yes, they take care of business when the matter calls for it. But in medium-sized towns like where we are an hour away from Ilhéus, you barely see cops. You're there, they're there, but you barely see them. Number 44. Even minimum wage workers appear happy and smile, and they're polite and willing to help. So if you went to a restaurant, unlike some disgruntled person in North America who's not happy at his or her job, they're there almost as if they're there to bide their time and put in their 8 hours and take their minimum wage and go home. Here, that's not the case. Here, even minimum wage people are super happy. They smile all the time. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's the culture, maybe it's their blood, maybe they've got music playing in their head as they're working. They're always happy, smiling. And I first noticed this when I got my Brazilian driver's license about 2 years ago. I went to the driver's license place, and all the girls that were working behind the counter, all of them beautiful girls, smiling, happy. How can I help you, sir? Etc., etc. I mean, I was shocked. I was shocked. 45. Medical tourism in Brazil is a big thing. You know, many people who need denture work, teeth work, dentist work, dentures, implants, surgeries, or other types of medical stuff, you know, they come to Brazil. Brazil has a very thriving medical industry where people come from Europe, North America, other places to get work done. Plastic surgery here is huge, huge, and many Brazilians get that done. Number 46, you've got amazing architecture and buildings, houses, churches. It is not, as I mentioned earlier, the stamp where everything looks the same. Here you've got architecture. You know, Brazil is, I think, 400 or 500 years old. So you've got architecture in places that reflects that. You know, you don't have everything modern in the big cities, yes. So you've got amazing architecture to marvel at. 47, many places have cobblestone streets. Imagine, rustic, old world, charming. It's a nightmare to drive your bicycle or your motorcycle on these streets, but they're great to look at. Cobblestone streets. 48, it's an old country. I think Brazil was founded 500 years ago, so it's 2 times as old as the United States, I think. I'll have to get back to you on exactly when it was founded and by whom, but it is kind of old. 48. 48, 49. There are lots of singing birds elsewhere, everywhere. There are lots of singing birds everywhere. You know, I recently went to India and I was in my mother's city, and there's been so much development that has taken place, so many houses, concrete everywhere. The first thing one of the taxi drivers said to me, you know, all the birds have disappeared. We don't listen to birds anymore. We don't hear birds singing anymore. And that's a crying shame. Here in Brazil, at least in this part of Brazil, in Bahia, every morning we wake up to the sound of a variety of different songbirds, from parrots to parakeets to other types of beautiful singing birds. They're everywhere. 50. You can live in any type of style that you want. Here you've got mega cities like Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Belo Horizonte, etc. There's something for everyone, from big cities to medium-sized cities to towns to fishing villages. We choose to live in a fishing village and we love it. The closest city, Ilhéus, is an hour away. Itacaré, if we want to go, which is a surfing place, lots of restaurants, etc. That's 45 minutes away, etc. We can also take a flight to Salvador. That's like a 40-minute flight from Ilhéus. So everything is within reach. There's something for everybody. Number 51, you've got Black Afro, Japanese, Native Indians, Asian Indians, Europeans, Latinos, all mixed up here in Brazil. So you've got an amazing mix of people. Therefore, when you see Brazilians, all good-looking, attractive, beautiful people, right? And happy, smiling, beautiful white teeth, really. And you rarely see a blonde in Bahia. I mean, if you see one, chances are minority or not from here, because southern Brazil is where all the Europeans are. In northern Brazil, because of the Afro influence, it's like if you're into brunettes, men or women, this place is overrun with brunettes and black hair. Number 52, yeah, we finally got to the end of the list. 52 it's a rich culture. There's nothing I miss about living in the United States. If you told me I had to go back to the United States, I would say, are you kidding me? I'm not going. There's no way I'm going to go back. Now, Elsie would, you know, give her 2 cents worth here as well, but she's Brazilian, so anything she would say would be partial. So me being Indian and having spent 3-4 decades in the United States, I think this vlog has to come from me, because this is my honest opinion about living in Brazil after 2.5 years. So if you're an expat thinking about retiring wherever you are, and if you have the ability to come and live in Brazil, you'll just have to figure out what the immigration laws are for you. For me, it was easy because I was married to a Brazilian. So because of that, I was able to get permanent residency here, and I can live here forever. I can even get a Brazilian passport if I want to. We'll see about that, but you'll have to figure out what the immigration laws are for you. Maybe you can come here and spend half the year here and half the year where you live, or some aspect like that. But many people who work here, many people who have retired here, many people who are married to Brazilians live here, and they're super happy. We've met many. So that's that. 52 reasons why I absolutely love living in Brazil after 2.5 years here. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. Like, share with anybody that you think might find this content useful, and I'll see you with Elsie in the next video. As they say here in Brazil, ciao ciao.